In this video, we'll cover the following topics: ratio, indices, triangle, variation, and matrix. Okay, 5 most tested JAMB Math questions and their topics. Okay, for the first one, we'll have a question from ratio. 3 girls share a number of apples in the ratio of 5:3:2. If the highest share is 40 apples, find the smallest share. Okay, in ratio question, the first thing you need to do is to find the total ratio. So we are going to approach this question step by step until we arrive at the final answer. So the first step you need to do whenever you see a ratio question is to find total ratio. So let's get our total ratio. Total ratio, the question is talking about the ratio here. So 5 plus 3 plus 2. Total ratio here becomes 10. So this is our total ratio. Okay, now they said if the highest share is 40 apples, from here, what's the highest share? The highest happens to be this, right? 5. Okay, find the smallest share, and the smallest share happens to be 2. So we are asked to find the smallest share, not the highest share, which happens to be 40. But okay, let's solve for the smallest share. So for smallest share, we'll have the ratio of the smallest share 2 divided by total ratio 10 multiplied by total number of apples shared. This is total ratio, not total number of apples. So I can say total number of apples is y. Pay attention. So let's say total apples shared be y. That's equal to y, or I can just say equal to y, same thing. Okay, now we want to solve for the smallest share and we have a challenge, but that's no problem. Let's go back to the biggest share which was given to us, or the highest share. So the highest share is equal to 5, which is the ratio over total ratio 10 multiplied by what's it called, our total number of apples shared, and is equal to what? 40. Because now remember they said the highest share received what is 40 apples, and that's why we're solving like this. Now why do we need this equation? We need this equation because this equation will help us to find the total number of apples shared. This is this. Then once we figure this out from here, we can now come back here and solve. Okay, so let's continue from these very points. For the highest share, 5 multiplied by y is 5y over 10 is equal to 40. From here we can actually cross multiply. So let's cross multiply. Okay, cross multiplying, we will have 5y is equal to 10 times 40. Okay, you can actually do this in a couple of ways. You can actually say 5y multiplied by 1, which is over 1. You know, every number is divided by 1. It doesn't change anything, but leaving it as 5y doesn't still change anything as well. Okay, from here you have that 5y is equal to 10 times 40 is 400, right? That's 400. Okay, the next thing you want to do here is to divide both sides by 5, which happens to be the coefficient from this very question. So 5y is equal to 400 divided by 5 divided by 5, and then you can cancel at the y's. The 5 can cancel at, then y is equal to 400 divided by 5. You can use the on-screen calculator. I have a calculator that can help us figure this out. Okay, so 400 divided by 5 is equal to 80. So we'll have that y is equal to what? 80 apples. Now remember what we actually said y is. Y happens to be what? y happens to be the what total apples shared. So that's y. So we have solved for only the total apples shared from this let me say this ratio. So the total ratio is 10 and total apples shared is 80. Now you figure that out. Okay, let's go back to that question. Now you figure that out, you can now solve for the next thing, which is what? Now remember they asked us to solve for the smallest ratio. So if that is making sense to you, you can progress. Okay, so for the smallest share, let's do it here. Smallest share is equal to 2/10 multiplied by what? Y. And what is y? Y is 80. 2/10 multiplied by 80. This 0 can cancel out. Or I can just multiply 2 multiplied by 80 divided by 10. It still give you same thing. So 2 times 8 is 16, right? So 16 apples. The smallest share is going to receive 16 apples. And once you solve for that, you've actually gotten the final answer. That's it. So this is it. 16 apples for the smallest share. It means option A is the correct answer, right? Option A happens to be the correct answer. Let's go to the next question. This very question is from Indy 6. So that's just it. Now, if you find any challenge during the course of this video, I will advise you to simply pause it and go through the video again. Make sure you assimilate every detail from this video. So this is the question. They say we should solve for x. Now we'll have to apply a little bit knowledge of algebra to save us a whole lot. Now when you have a variable and a coefficient, what do? Divide both sides by that coefficient. So let's divide both sides by 8. We'll have 8x minus 2 raised to the power minus 2 is equal to 2/25 divided by 8, right? Okay, so divided by 8 and divided by 8. For here, the 8 will cancel out. So you are left with x raised to the power minus 2 is equal to 2/25 times 1/8. Remember, whenever you change the division sign to times, you flip the fraction. So we can cancel out. 2 here is 1 and 2 here is 4. Okay, let me just write it out so it doesn't look messy. So 1/25 multiplied by 1/4. From here, we can now have that x raised to the power minus 2 is equal to 1 multiplied by 1 is just 1, and 25 multiplied by 4 is 100, right? Okay, that's 25 multiplied by 4 is 100. Now, from this very point, you can actually apply negative index law here. If you've checked out my video on index rules, negative index law here simply means 1/x raised to the power 2. That's what it simply means. So here it remains 1/100. Now, if you can get this to this format, you see that you are almost done. Let's continue from this part. Okay. So remember, we had 1/x raised to the power 2, and then we'll have 1/100. So making things easy from here, you can actually cross multiply. So if we should cross multiply here, you have x squared multiplied by 1 is equal to 100 multiplied by 1. So this is x squared is equal to 100. Now what's the next step? Because you have a squared, you have to do what? Take square root of both sides. So let's take square root of both sides. So the square root of x squared, the square and the square root cancels out and x will stand alone. So what you'll be left with here is 10. So it means that the value of x from here is 10. Wow, we still got A again. So, and we are done with that very question. This video is brought to you by Precision Academic World. Here is our official email address. You can actually reach out to us using this email address. Okay, the next question is from triangles. Yes. Okay, we'll have two triangles meshed together or meshed together. Okay, let me just get my highlight and show something. Now you watch this triangle. Look at this and this. This is the first triangle, right? Okay, just a moment. We have another one. Okay, we have another triangle from here. Watch up to this point. Okay, now we need to remember some rules about triangles to help us solve this question. I don't know if you get. Now, the first rule we need to remember here is that sum of angles in a triangle is equal to 180. That sum of angles in a triangle is equal to 180. Another rule that will help us is isosceles triangle because of this. So it means these parts are equal isosceles triangle. So what are we asked to solve for? We're asked to solve for x, and x is amongst this first triangle. So if I should have this, and the value here, I can actually solve for what? I can solve for x. But then for me to solve for x, there are a couple of ways for me to solve for x. What I simply need to do is to find out what is here. I don't know if you get what is here. So if I should find that out, I can be able to fix this. Now, and that rule you need to also know here is angle on a straight line is equal to 180 degrees. So let's get started. We say sum of angles in triangle is equal to what? 180 degrees. Now we'll have the isosceles triangle rule. So we'll have isosceles triangle here, but I don't think that will help us because it can only help us to solve for the value here and the value here, but that's not necessary. So we need to just solve for the one here, angle on a straight line. So angles on straight line. So I just want to stop there. Is equal to 180 degrees as well. Okay, so we can actually see that. Let's call here y. Can actually call here y. So I can actually see that y plus 150 is equal to 180. You know why I'm saying 150? So from here, let's collect like terms. So have that y is equal to 180 minus 150, such that y gives me 180 minus 150 should be 30, right? Okay, 50, 60, 70, 80. So 30. Okay, so I've solved for the value of y. Now, this might be a trick. Don't quickly go and pick this. You will fail this question. They did not ask you to solve for this part. They asked you to solve for what? For x. So for us to get x, now from here we've been able to get this part. For us to get x, what do we simply do? We say that sum of angles in a triangle is what? 180. So it means that x plus 110 plus 30 is equal to 180 degrees. Let me show you what I mean. Watch this. This is x plus this and this. So these are the angles in this triangle now. So if we should sum three of them, they will be what? Equal to 180 degrees. Okay, getting back to the question, we can now add these two. Let's add them up. So x plus 110 plus 130 should be 140. So 140 is equal to 180. Okay. From here, the next step is to collect like terms. So if we should collect like terms here, we are going to isolate x, making x to stand alone. So collecting like terms here talks about x is equal to 180 minus 140 degrees. If you have issue with collecting like terms, degree, but not necessary until we are done solving. I have a video on change of subject formula. Go through that video, that will really help you. So from here we'll have that 180 minus 140 is 40 degrees, and that makes option D the accurate answer. Please don't make the mistake of falling for this trap. And we are done with that question. Remember, this video is brought to you by Precision Academic World, and our mission is to rejuvenate the passion for academic excellence. Now let's go to the next question, question number 4. This question is from variation. Okay, it says y varies directly as w squared. Y varies directly as w squared. When y is equal to 8 and w is equal to 2, find y when w is equal to 3. Okay, now you need to know the step-by-step approach of how to solve questions on variation. When you are faced with a variation question, the first thing you need to do is to find the constant. So we have to introduce constants here. Introduce constant. And oftentimes in mathematics, we use k for constant. Introduce constant k. Okay, from here now it becomes y, and once you introduce constant, the proportionality sign goes away, is equal to k w squared. And once you have introduced that constant, this becomes your general equation. So it becomes your general equation. Let me highlight it so that you can actually remember whenever you are solving that this is your general equation. You will always refer back to this equation and it will be helpful. Okay, from here we'll have that y is equal to k w squared, and then the question says when y is what, 8. So we have to substitute. So from here we can start substituting. Substitute. So y is what, 8. You substitute 8 for y. K is the constant, so we don't know what k is yet. So, and w is what, 2. Let's multiply them because they are together. So w is 2, and you make sure you add the square, don't skip that. Okay, so this becomes 8 is equal to k multiplied by 2 squared. Simply means 2 times 2, and that's what, 4. From here, k times 4, 8 is equal to k times 4 is 4k, or k4, but it's same thing. Whenever a variable and a value multiply, they just come together. But it's always advisable that you bring in your values first before your variables. So from here, what's the next step? You have to divide both sides by 4, which is the coefficient of k. We'll have 8 divided by 4 is equal to 4k divided by what, 4. So the 4's here will cancel out, and then from here you have that 4 here is 1, 4 here is 2. So therefore k okay, so we have the value of k as 2. Now we are not yet done. Please, we are not yet done. We've solved for this part, right? Then I said find y when w is equal to 3. What you have to do is you come back to the general equation again. The general equation says that y is equal to k w squared. Now they said find y, right? So y at this point now, y, you don't know y yet. And what is k? You solve for k, and k is what, 2. 2 multiplied by what is w? They now told you that w is 3. See, they give you new values. You have to follow this instruction closely. And now not just 3, sorry, w is 3, right? So just a moment, w is 3, and then you have to square it. From this point you have that y is equal to 2 multiplied by 3 squared is what, 9. Okay, then y is equal to 2 multiplied by 9 is what, is 18, and that makes option B the accurate option. So all you have to do is pay attention to details, work with them closely, and solve with the right approach. Okay, here comes the final question number 5 from metrics. Now if you find any part of this lesson challenging, pause the video, go back and make sure you understand it. Make sure you get a particular question before you move to the next. Okay, now we'll have a question from metrics. It says if, so you can see this matrix, negative x, negative 1, 12 and 4 is equal to minus 12. Find x. Okay, this is a determinant for two metrics. What it simply do, it has a format. The format is use this number to multiply this, then subtract this multiplied by this. So let me just show you what I mean. Okay, some persons use plus and minus to help them, but it's not really necessary. Once you understand the format, you can actually beat this question. So from here, let's go. Okay, so we have this minus x multiply, this is x and this is my question, multiply by 4, then minus, so let me put this part in brackets so that I don't confuse things. Then minus 1 multiplied by 12, okay, is equal to minus 12. So look at what I actually did here, so don't be confused. I use this to multiply this, and then I use this to multiply this. So that's what's happened. Okay, from here, minus x multiplied by 4 is giving you minus 4x. Then this one is okay, so let me just keep it inside the brackets. Then brackets, this multiply this is giving you what, minus 12, right, is equal to, this is minus 12 here. So at this point, once you get to this point, you are done. Okay, from here we have minus 4x, this multiply this becomes plus 12 is equal to minus 12. We're almost done. From here you see that we need to collect like terms. So if we should collect like terms here, we'll have minus 4x is equal to minus 12. This one coming over becomes what? Minus 12 again. Remember, we'll have plus here. So minus 4x is equal to minus 12 minus 12 is minus 24, right? Okay, from here now we can divide both sides by minus 4, because not just 4, minus 4, because minus 4 is the coefficient. So we'll have minus 4x divided by minus 4 is equal to minus 24 divided by minus 4. Let's cancel this. So minus cancel minus, 4 cancel 4, and then from here you can cancel this, and x is equal to 24 divided by 4 is 6, right? 6. Okay, 24 divided by 4 is 6, and that happens to be option A. Okay, we are done. So like I said, you can go through these videos again, make sure you understand them, don't just rush. The best thing is to understand them so they can be able to solve them on your own. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment and subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos like this. Here is our official contact, here is our email address, and my name is Mr. Johnson. I am your instructor.